What's up, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Neon Veil, the show that talks about Las Vegas from a tourist perspective and a local perspective, and really puts the twist on what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, because we know that's not true. I'm Cousin Ryan, your host, and today we have my actual cousin, one of my favorite people to go hang out with, and we've done Vegas a few times together, but today he's going to tell a past story about Vegas to kind of give a perspective of a Cali boy's time in Vegas. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, my cousin, Tommy. What's going on, buddy? How's it going?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, buddy? I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good, man. Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here tonight and giving us a story that I'm good the feeling is going to be hilarious because I know how you roll. So
I hope so.
it'll be good. It'll be good. So give me a little background. When did it all take place? When did this happen?
This was 14 years ago, almost to the day. It was on my 30th birthday party, actually. So it's for my 30th birthday. We stayed at the MGM Signature, which was sweet. The room was insane. It was like 2 bedrooms, kind of condo scenario, full balcony. And it was amazing for my 30th. So I'll just go through the whole story. So yeah, my wife, she has a flair for the dramatic, especially in Vegas. So she wants to do it right. So I had my wife's best friend, her mom, the cool aunt who likes to party, which at the time she was like 71. So that was kind of funny. My cousin Tony, who kind of a nutcase in his own right, and a couple other cousins, a couple friends. I don't know. There was probably about 15 of us total.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. So, but my wife and I were the only ones staying in this suite room. But, throughout the weekend, more and more people started just crashing with us because it was an amazing room. So we start in the casino at the MGM, and I'm waiting for my cousin Tony, who rolls up, and we're gambling. We're actually having a pretty good time playing video poker at the bar. So we're gambling, having a good time. I'm doing pretty well. My cousin Tony shows up, and this was back in the day when kind of like the extracts of THC and stuff like that were just kind of coming about. So he had brought up some liquid THC, and he asked me if I wanted some, and I was like, sure, I like to party. So he made a very specific, only take 3 drops. That's it. Don't take any more. It's perfect. It's perfect. So I went to the restroom, and I think I took 12 drops, right? I went way over the exceeded dose that he recommended. And so whatever. I felt pretty good. About 3 hours later, I couldn't even walk. So this is the night I'm supposed to go, right? So my wife had made VIP reservations, bottle service at this club in the MGM. At the time, it was pretty new, and it was, swanky and fancy and super expensive. But we're all having a good time. So I go for about 3 hours not being able to walk because I'm so effed up on the liquid THC, right? Then I get in some cold shower, somehow snap out of it. So we all walk downstairs, all 15 of us, and my cousin wins a $1,200 jackpot on the slots. And then my other buddy wins $800 as we're walking in, literally. And so, which helped with the bottle service when the time came. But so we roll into the club, and we go back to the VIP area, and it's kind of an open VIP area with, it's sectioned off only by couches. So couches back to back would be a kind of a partition between VIP spaces. So on one side, I had Tretch from Naughty by Nature, and his whole crew. And the other side, I had Chuck Liddell, the UFC fighter, on the other side. Yeah, this was so, and this was totally unexpected. And I'm geeking out because, more about Tretch because I'm a big Naughty by Nature fan too. But Chuck Liddell was still pretty cool as well because it was kind of during his heyday in the UFC. So he was kind of famous. So we go there, and we start with the bottle service. We start getting pretty hammied at, just with amongst ourselves. Next thing I know, the liquid courage comes up, and I'm over there partying with Tretch. I'm bringing Chuck Liddell into the mix. We're all dancing on the dance floor together. I'm shadow boxing Chuck Liddell. This massive man. Somewhere there's video of this. I wish I could have provided that. I was like texting people, man, do you remember that weekend? Do you have the video? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? I was trying to get some sort of record of that happening, but I doubt it. I doubt anyone is alive that still has it on their phone. So that was a pretty cool experience. I mean, just the fact that both those guys too were super cool, super chill, and they were just ready to party and hang out. And so was kind of my group. So we all kind of integrated our 3 VIP areas, and it was one of the coolest Vegas experiences I've ever had.
That's amazing.
It was pretty cool. Yes.
Did you guys stay out? Did you guys hang out all night until it closed, or?
So there's a little caveat to this one. So my cousin Tony, who's the wild card, Tony just gets lost, right? Like wherever we take him, he gone, and we got to find him, you know. And there's certain times where we just stop trying to find him because we spent more effort trying to find the guy, and he always ended up being okay. He would just go off and do like whatever he wanted to do. So we lost Tony. He's, I don't know, about 4 a.m. he comes plowing in the room with about a 300-pound escort. Yeah. I still remember her name. I won't say it because she might still be working out there. You may even know her.
You never know.
Never know. So anyhow, the story was he, you know, at one point in the night, he shook himself out to the strip club and kind of did his own thing with a whole other group of people that he just met, and then wound up with that girl back in my hotel room with my wife. So, yeah. But yeah, man, it was that was pretty cool. For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the club. It is not the same name of the club that was there now. So, but it was pretty awesome, man. It was one of the best times I've ever had.
That's amazing. That's amazing, and that's what I love about Vegas is like random places you can run into a celebrity, and majority of the time they're pretty cool. They're chill.
For
as
sure.
long as you treat them like people, you know. So, did you guys drive over from where you are?
But yeah, we are you talking about from where I live to Vegas?
Yeah.
Always. We like to bring our own, you know, we like to bring our own stuff and save a little bit of money on that end and keep a cooler in the room and do all that. So I'm always the one to drive. I love driving up there with a cooler full of my booze and beer and whatever else, you know, even food and snacks and stuff like that. And just enough to save a little bit more money to gamble with and to party with, you know?
Yeah. Spend it on the bottle service, not the random drinks you need to buy, you know?
No doubt.
Yeah. Enjoy it that way.
Our waitress, I remember our waitress was, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Your waitress.
Oh no. So of course, you know, it's a VIP new club. She's like super smoking hot and was just a great waitress, you know. And I think I remember we tipped her like $800, something like that. God. So yeah. And you know, I think me and you and my wife just sat down and paid $1,000 for a meal in Vegas.
For a meal. Yeah.
2 months ago.
That's right. No, yeah. That dinner we had, it was an incredible meal. And then we had so much left over, you know, afterwards, and all that wine that she didn't drink, but you know, whatever.
I know. Somehow we thought we were going to pay a certain amount, and then when the bill came, it was like, oh shit.
Oh, okay. It was worth it. That food was amazing. It was
amazing. It was amazing.
And the funny part about it too, and you telling that story. So MGM's kind of your spot, right? Because that's where we were for dinner.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't say it's my spot. I would say I've been there actually more times than not. I think through comps and stuff like that through the past, we've been able to just stay there. But we like to venture out. I love the Paris. I love the New York. And so as far as staying wise, even the Luxor, I kind of taken a shine to it lately. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like the bars in the Luxor for some reason.
I'll have to go check them out more because I know my favorite thing about the MGM and that side of the strip is what we experienced, the lazy river that we got to hang out in the last time you were here. That's like the only one of 2 hotels that have that. And that was a really great experience. Not only that, the fact that security didn't give a shit what we did the entire time we were there. So
right.
There's so many people and it's crazy. And
That was nice. Yeah, that is nice. That the pool and the whole scene over there is super, welcoming, and it's super chill. I really enjoyed it myself.
Have you ever hung out at any other pools outside on the strip besides MGM?
Oh yeah. I think the most notable is the Caesars pool. I think everybody kind of has experienced that, and
Mhm.
we went in the topless side once, and it might even all be topless, but I think our whole group was going topless that time, and so it got a little, including me. So it got a little wild. But the
God, Vegas
Caesars
is
is
always
probably
fun.
my favorite pool to like hang and party at.
Really?
Um, but really, when it's hotter than heck, dude, and you're in Vegas and you're able to get into the pool and into a good spot, I think that's my favorite spot in Vegas. Period. Other than gambling and hanging out and doing the nightlife, I think probably my most favorite thing to do in Vegas is hanging in the pool, drinking, listening to the DJ, hanging with just
Right.
all my folks and just meeting new people, because you always seem to meet some group or a few people there that you just link right up with, and end up being pretty cool people, or try to see them later that night.
And it doesn't work out on my end. She doesn't,
Sometimes it doesn't
she goes
work
to me.
out. Wink, wink.
She goes to me, but whatever. Yeah, I
Uh,
remember that day at the pool. We met a lot of tourists, a lot of random people who were just there, and then she was by herself, just hanging out. Um, Vegas is the Vegas pools. Yeah, I'll say that they're a great place to just meet people, experiences,
for sure.
man.
That was such a cool spot. And yeah, you met up with that girl, and then the rest was history. I mean, we had a great day. But
Great day. It was a great day.
it was a great day for sure.
Riding around in that really
Excuse me.
gross, lazy river with her on my back, Jill on your back, and drinking Trulies, I believe is what we were doing for whatever reason.
Yeah. So anything. Yeah, I think it was the Trulies from the. Yes, it
That
was.
bucket we got, yeah. I mean, you know what? If you're gonna spend a lot of money, I think even that was like 8 Trulies. Not even that, it was like $100. So, your idea of bringing a cooler and pre-gaming before you go down to the pool is the best idea, like
For
hands
sure.
down, the best idea.
For
So,
sure. I mean, we have the luxury. Other people in different states may not have that luxury or further away, but we have that luxury of being just 4 or 5 hours out, where um, we can do that, and it's worth it. Oftentimes I,
right,
I curse myself when I'm going home, like, why did I do this again? Why didn't I just fly? I would have been home by now. But in the end, I'm always like, yeah, I'm glad I did that, because I probably saved myself a few $100 just on alcohol.
oh, easily, just for the alcohol in
Easily.
general, and I mean, you can drive yourself places if you have somewhere to go. You need to go do
Right.
something. Having your car, and a lot of those hotels will comp your your parking. So why not? If you're gonna stay there, do
Sure.
it.
Sure.
So, what will you spend a lot of time on Fremont at all, or is like the strip kind of your thing?
Yeah, I think my younger years, especially, spent a lot of time on Fremont just because it was more affordable. In my older years, I tend to stick more towards the main strip, unless there's a concert or something else going on down on Fremont. Then I'll go down there.
Mhm.
But typically when I'm in Vegas, I'm there for 2 to 3 days max, and
Right.
sometimes it's the getting down to Fremont is kind of far. And if I'm on the
Yeah.
main strip and I'm walking around, and I don't really care. I just want to like hang out somewhere close, and walk around and just see where the night takes you.
Right. No, I'm a huge fan of the strip's my spot to hang out. I love Fremont for that reason too, but the strip's the way to go. And especially when people like, my family like you come down and visit, it's a straight shot for me to come down there and hang out with you and
Right.
go party up and, just to have a good time.
For sure.
So I love it. What do you think? Because last time you were here, we kind of kept it low key. It was just the three of us, you and your wife, and then I came hang out. You have any trips planned in the future? Something you want to come do while you're here?
Well, yeah, I'm always down to see a music, either a show or go to a festival or something like that down there. I went to Metallica back in February, late February. They played at Allegiant, and that was awesome. I mean, that was amazing. I went with like three buddies, and we were there for literally 2 days, and it just it worked out great. It was a great trip. Metallica was amazing. Um, And but yeah, most of the time it'll be if we're targeting something to be there, if it's not like somebody's uh, I don't know, benchstone birthday or something like that, it's usually for some sort of concert, or it's rarely just to just go to Vegas for the weekend. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always has to be an occasion for us.
So you think the 2 or 3 days is like the perfect amount of time in Vegas?
For me, it is. I mean, because yeah, it's I'm gonna party those 2 or 3 days like I'm gonna die the next day. So I'm partying as hard as I can for those 1 to 3 days that I'm there. So usually by the third day, I'm pretty well tapped out on money and sleep and everything else. So I'm like always like, yep, it's time to go. I think it's time to go.
That's hilarious. That, and I agree. I tell a lot of people who come to visit, 2 or 3 days max. You try to do longer, and you're gonna hate life at some point because it's just a lot. Especially people who
Yeah,
try to go hard every single day.
for sure. If I had endless amounts of money, I would stay for like a week or two. And I only have, 4 kids, then yes, I would. But, that's always in the back of your mind when you're in Vegas. God, I got to go back to that, and I got to be able to
Right.
function at least for, half a day or something like that. So, yeah, that's I would say 3 days is probably my max, or the best little sweet spot for me is 3 days.
Do you tend to go hard all 3 days, or do you like day one and day two, and then day three so you can drive home?
Well, yeah. Well, no, day one, it's always, I think day one, anywhere you go on vacation is always like, let's go. And that's always seems to be the hardest day. And then day two is that you sleep in, and then you start drinking later in the day, or at the pool, or you ease into it. And then by, day two night, you're really charging. But, yeah, I would say that by day three, you're probably, if you're not already super bummed out, or just so hungover that you can't function, it's more of like dinner and some drinks, and maybe some gambling at a moderate rate.
Well, and we know how our family, because for all my viewers, this is literally my cousin. Tommy is my cousin. So when we do family stuff, we tend to go hard night one, no matter where we are.
Yeah.
That just is a fact for us. So I love it. I love it,
Yes.
dude. We always have a good time. I've spent Vegas a couple times with you, actually, because outside of the last time you were here, I remember running into you at New York, New York.
Yep.
I think you were around with your wife's family too, and it was just middle of the day, and we were already hammered. Like this,
Yep.
we don't screw around when it comes to Vegas. So
We do not.
we do not.
Yes, that's how we do
Um,
it.
that's awesome. I love that story. The first guest I had on told me he went to a person's birthday party at a club. And I think people really miss that you can meet celebrities at these clubs if you're at the VIP, if you
Sure.
are, at those popular nights and the popular times.
One year, I was with some of my buddies, and we ran into John C. Riley and at the pool, and
What?
yeah, John C. Riley. If you don't know him, then I'm not going to explain it to you. But yeah, oh dude, we like literally hung out with the dude for like 3 hours. I mean, not super personal. He was with his family, but we were talking and throwing a football back and forth occasionally. And another time we ran into Shaq, and we talked with Shaq for like 10 minutes, and he was super cool, just on a personal, not really personal,
Right.
but just kind of geeking out on him a little bit. And
Right.
he was enjoying our praise. And but yeah, so random people like that, you just never know. You never know.
That's okay. We have to talk about these because you've never told me these stories before. So you and I have to chat about that later. So I guess for people who are the tourists that are watching this that want to come visit, stuff like that, what's like one thing you would say that everyone needs to check out from your experience? Like what's something they need to go do when they come?
Well, if it's the summertime, you got to go to the pool. There's just no doubt you got to go to the pool. And if it's wintertime and you can't do the pool, I would definitely recommend like a Cirque du Soleil, or taking on some sort of show that you've never seen before. Some of the more random or random stuff is pretty cool stuff. We saw a couple of the Cirque du Soleil shows, and they were just and I'm not really into that kind of stuff, and I wasn't really happy about it going into it. But man, when I was in there, I'm like, holy cow, this is amazing. I mean, so, stuff like that. Those type of shows are awesome. We've gone to the gun range where you can shoot all kinds of cool guns and automatic weapons. And you can get pretty crazy depending on how much money you want to spend, but that's pretty cool. And then, don't be scared to hit the casinos and have fun there, man. The best thing you can do too is if you go with a large group, try to get on a blackjack table with all your family and friends. And it's just so much fun. That's the most fun, I think.
I agree. I think taking over a table with that is pretty cool. Next time you come into town, let's look at it. The show that I've been wanting to introduce to other people is called The Mad Apple. It's a Cirque du Soleil show at New York. It's pretty badass. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys would too. So everyone watching, and for you, Tommy, next time you're here, let's check it out.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll sponsor your show with some tickets.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. We already have some.
Send them a copy. Yeah.
We have some ideas for some live shows we want to do at some breweries around town. We've already started talking to them. So, we have some ideas, and I love this idea of being able to show what else is here in Vegas, from what people's perspectives are. I know people who only spend time on the northern side of the strip and only hang out at like the Stratosphere and Sahara and all of those. But I'm a huge fan of the South Side, hanging out MGM, New York, Luxor, Mandalay Bay. That's it. Everyone has a different perspective of Vegas. So
sure.
I really appreciate you being on here, Tom. That was cool. I didn't know that story about that. That shadow boxing, that's pretty dope, bro. That's
Chuck Liddell. Jeez,
that's
dude.
amazing.
I know.
So okay, before I move on, how big, like, because you're a bigger guy. So
yeah,
like
that's funny that you mentioned that, because when I saw him, he was like, I think he was about 6'2" or 6'3", and he was probably 200 to 215 pounds at the time. But the size of this guy was, I mean, he was just ripped. I mean, he's got a fighter's body, and without trying to sound too, yeah. I was like, damn, this dude's body is awesome. he was big. He was big, and no doubt he would have mopped the floor with me, like no matter what. And I was, 30, and I was in great shape probably at the time. And but yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. He would have mopped me up for sure.
That's awesome. That's so cool, dude. That's a great experience to have. Just to be able to say that you did that. It's amazing,
right?
Oh man,
check that one off the bucket list right there.
For real, yeah. From what I've heard, there are some other stories that you're going to come on with your brother, and we're going to talk about as well, because he says you guys have a few things to talk about. So
sure.
I know you'll be a recurring guest. Is there anything else you want to say about Vegas before we wrap this up?
Just kind of, because I was thinking, the lounge bars, when you catch live music in the lounge, it's always kind of a cool thing too. That's always something I've dug when I've been there, and it's free. Well, other than you buying drinks there, but you're going to see some really good bands. You're going to see some crappy ones, but you're going to see some really cool bands too. A lot of cover bands and stuff like that. So that's always a fun time.
Appreciate. I agree with you, because I go do that quite a bit. Caesar's Palace has a really good one. I know MGM has a one. Which one were you thinking of? I know there's one you're probably thinking of right now.
Gosh, you know what? I think it was, we saw, I think it was at the New York. It was the last time we were there with you. After we separated, we had done a couple things and casino hopped. And I think we ended up at the New York upstairs. I cannot remember the name of it, but it was a band that played kind of 90s alternative music, which is my area, my wheelhouse. So, and my wife. So we were just singing every song and dancing to every song and requesting songs. And, at 3 a.m. later, we were, begging them to go back on because they were, packing up their equipment. So, but it was one of those fun nights. And that's the one thing I really enjoy is the live music for sure.
And that's the best thing. Like you said, you were 3 a.m. Vegas doesn't sleep. Like, they're still going that early in the morning, late in the night, however you look at it. So if you're a night owl, that's the thing to do, is go do those. So
For sure. Hey, you got those 3
Yeah.
days. You got to make it count.
Yeah, as much as you can, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
One thing I've told a lot of people, I've heard people tell me, and that we did when we traveled here a lot before I moved here, just get one room, pack as many people as you can in that room, because you're not going to spend that much time in it.
For sure. Especially if, gosh, that was the story of my 20s with me and my 10 buddies who would say, we would all pitch in $4 and, have a room for the weekend because there was 10 of us in there and we
Right.
would be sleeping in there like sardines. But you're right. I mean, if especially, you go up with a couple that you enjoy, say you and your girl and a couple that you enjoy hanging out with. And same with my wife. We have a few sets of friends that, or any family that comes up with us, that there's no doubt every time we go up, we're rooming with them. And it helps save costs. And like you said, you're partying. So, if you really want some privacy with your lady or something, then do the old necktie on the door so the other people don't come in.
Right.
So that's but you're right, Ryan. That's a good point there.
Well, when I was in my earlier 20s, I came down with 5 buddies, and we all stayed in one room with 2 queen beds for like 6 days. We were here way too long, but you got to think about it. Like, we had to take turns on who slept on the bed, doubling up, sometimes solo. People pass on the ground, but you were only there to get like 5 hours of sleep, and you were back out on the strip, so no one cared.
No doubt.
Shit, I've slept in a bathtub before. So
yeah, that was just a place that was the recharge place. That was like where you go to plug in your cell phone. It's just you are the cell phone at that point. You go plug yourself in for 4 hours and you're gone.
I don't like to shit on places, but I will say when we stayed, it was at Excalibur, and unfortunately, most of our outlets didn't work. So think of 5 guys sharing like 2 outlets, trying to swap their phones around to get them charged. So it was, we had to have the buddy.
I know that side of the strip is it. Understandably so. Totally. Yes.
That's hilarious.
I get
that. Well, right on, Tom. Again, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm excited to get this launched, and yeah, I can't wait to see you, man. A few more weeks. So
yeah, a few more weeks,
man.
Brother. We'll see you there. I think you're talking about Temecula. Yeah.
Yes, I am. And the show will come out.
Sorry, awkward silence.
Before, the show will come out before Temecula, before the trip. So we might have to talk about what happened to Temecula too. I hear it's getting crazy.
Right on, brother. Thank you.
Man. Thank you. Have a good one. We'll see you later, buddy. All right, everybody. That was today's show. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you go and like and subscribe and check out the other shows that we have launching on our network. Benny and Moose Save America is pretty damn good and funny. It's a good trivia show. Guest starring. Go and check it out. Thanks again for checking out Beyond the Neon Veil. And if you have a Vegas story that you want to come on and tell and talk about, just hit me up on our network. Thank you and have a great day.